Our tastes in cars evolve over time, and I'd argue there are 3.5 stages of development in a car enthusiast journey. And I was thinking about this because, driving an NA1 NSX, review dropping soon, or my ND3 Miata, I see that I appreciate these cars more now than I did in the earlier stages of development. Stage 1 is what I call the spec sheet stage, and this is where you judge the merit of a car based on things like the 0 to 60 or the horsepower, things like that, quarter-mile time. And you obviously can't drive a spec sheet. You tend to be younger at this stage. I remember when I was in this stage, before I could drive, as an adolescent, as a teenager, I would read car and driver magazines, and I thought that 0 to 60 was the most important thing, because it wasn't just horsepower, because a heavy car with a lot of horsepower is not going to necessarily accelerate as fast as a lighter car with less, and I thought 0 to 60 was therefore one of the best metrics. But then you start learning how to drive, and that brings us to stage number 2. Stage number 2 is actually seeking uniqueness, right? So how can you be different from the rest? How can you use the car as an expression of who you are? Buying the less obvious choice. Now, it's no coincidence that many people go through this in their late teen to 20s, because this is also the time that you're undergoing something similar psychologically. If you guys are familiar with the Erikson stages of development, this is something we talk about in med school and in psychiatry, which are the natural stages you go through throughout life. And at this stage, you oftentimes care about what others think of you. You want to belong, and therefore you take on a lot of identity and meaning from the things you do and the car you purchase. Now, I call this the identity trap, because you begin identifying with the car itself. And when someone criticizes the car, you find yourself defending it vehemently online in the comments on Reddit or Instagram, saying how, well, it's still better than this other thing, and it's still a fantastic car for these reasons, and actually it's not as bad as you think. But this stage, ultimately, the seeking uniqueness, seeking something different, is still very much about what other people think of you. And again, that aligns with the Erikson stages of development, because cars are self-expression, right? They do tell you something about the owner's values, their priorities, who they are as a person. And that brings us to stage number 3, which is you now focus on just the experience. And you can drive something like an NA1 NSX or an ND3 Miata, and you realize that even though the power isn't quite competitive, or the 0 to 60 time isn't nearly as quick as a modern EV, that the experience behind the wheel is so much more important than the spec sheet. It's so much more important than what other people think of you, because at the end of the day, the reason we love cars, the reason you watch this channel, you're a driving enthusiast. You care about the experience, the thrill, the emotion that a car can give you behind the wheel on a nice canyon road or on the racetrack. And at this stage, you may find yourself going for older cars or smaller, lighter cars. Cars that, again, on paper aren't that impressive, and that maybe when you were younger, you would have scoffed at or never even considered buying yourself. And then the 4th and final stage is really appreciating different types of cars, even if they're not your number one choice. So I have a type. We all do, right? I like lightweight, communicative, high revving, naturally aspirated rear-wheel drive cars. Things like the Honda S2000, the Miata, GT3 Porsches. But I also appreciate performance luxury saloons. Things like the E39, BMW M5, or the E60. Or going even more extreme on that spectrum, something like the Toyota Century V12 that I recently reviewed. And it's not about only appreciating the one kind of car that you like, but seeing how other cars can excel at their intended use case and the experience that they're designed to elicit. And there you have it. The 3.5 or 4 stages of car development. First, focusing on the spec sheet. Number 2, trying to find something unique just for the sake of being unique. Tied with that is, of course, the identity trap. Number 3, focusing on the experience itself. And then the final stage is just appreciating each car for what it actually is. There's no right or wrong here, and oftentimes you're going to find yourself being a mix of various stages, and some people stay in certain stages than others, and that's okay. We all just want to enjoy cars in our own unique way. This is just the trajectory that I've seen in many people, including myself and other car enthusiasts at a similar age range. Normally, before we can drive, we focus too much on spec sheets. As we learn how to drive, we still oftentimes do focus on spec sheets, but now it can evolve into trying to be different and unique just for the sake of being different and unique, even if it isn't actually better or more aligned with our true values. And then eventually we say, fuck the noise, who cares what other people think? Let's just enjoy the cars that we enjoy driving. But my friends, let me know what you think with a comment down below. Much love, and I'll see you all in that next one.